one other thing I would like to bring up, I think we all received communication, and it's regarding the CBOC. And originally, I believe that there was a lot of miscommunication out there regarding attendance of our Councilman Tim Banuelos. And it comes to light that I believe 4 out of the 6 were excused based upon half of them at least being council business. That had to be,
We're special council.
And there were a variety of different people, I believe, that you had reported this to because they didn't have any real direction as to how they received this and how they applied it. But it did come to light that probably you should not have been removed, I guess if that's it, and that they did not have the ability to reinstate you. We needed to reappoint you. And first of all, it's my understanding that you would like to serve out your term, for starters.
Which ends in January.
Which ends in January, and that you have been a viable and worthwhile member of the CBOC. I know you've reported back to us on numerous occasions. And that I would ask that the CBOC, within their authority, if in fact they feel that someone is not coming to the meetings or there's some communication, they need to communicate back to the body that appointed the individual. I think that a lot more would have been clear sooner with a lot of these emails not going back and forth, and it would have been a very simple matter to clear up if it had been initiated with a letter to the appointing body. And we could have simply checked with Tim, and he could have given us the information, we could have submitted it, and it would have been cleared up a lot sooner than going back and forth, and in my opinion, making a mountain out of a molehill. So,
So, Madam Mayor, who is this Cowan fella that made this?
I have no idea. I don't know who these.
Charlie Cowan, he's the current secretary of the CBOC. He replaced me after I had decided not to do it anymore. So he's the current secretary. And I'll just say really briefly, when I was secretary, along with the chair at the time, and actually there was a third person who liked to write bylaw stuff. He took it upon himself to be the kind of bylaws committee. He did a lot of showing up with things that were very ambiguous. We had set up a thing where if you had missed 3 times, that the chair or the secretary would call you. And at that time, there was a lot of interest in the CBOC, so it was kind of rare that anyone needed to really be called. There were a couple of people that did, and then I would let the chair know. By the time I did that, the chair already had called him because he was a pretty good chair. He was up on top of things, so it wasn't like he wasn't paying attention or anything like that. So one of the things that's a little odd about CBOC is, since it's an advisory body to the school district, so we can set policy, but it's still ultimately up to the school board to enact on it. And even when we did that, we still sort of, I think, kind of goofed it up a little bit, where we were able to recommend people or say, yeah, we like this person for the CBOC, but we couldn't really say that they could be on there, that the school district had to. But somehow we had figured out how to say, well, we wanted to get off. But I think that's mainly because it was an misinterpretation of what was going on that. So I had 2 absences that I forgot to tell them about because I ended up working, one of these 16, 17-hour days, and I definitely would have 2 absences that I didn't tell them about. There was a third one that I was able to call and left a message and never heard a call back. And then there were the 3 council meetings, special council meetings, that almost in a row, pretty much. And so I was kind of surprised when I got this email without having any kind of calls or anything like that, because some people just don't live by just emails. So and the way we had set it up was they got a call, person in question. There were a couple people that ended up getting removed because they were just, we didn't even know what they looked like. They had never showed up. So I was a little surprised when I found this out, especially since I'm terming out, so it's not like I'm in the middle of anything. I spent a huge amount of time working on the CBOC when I was secretary. I was secretary for almost a big hunk of my first term. I'm towards the end of my second term now. So, and was involved in a lot of policy, a lot of things like that. So, sort of surprised me. So, it's kind of up to the pleasure of the council if you want me to be back on it for the next few months.
Well,
I mean, you have to recommend, and then the city, and then the school board can reenact if they can. Because the problem is there's not a clear.
I'm just not convinced they have the authority to remove you. And that's because this says that the CBOC, and this is their own bylaws, may remove. And then it goes on and said, the CBOC may decide that although the member has exceeded the absentee trigger, the member has been participatory, and the absences have not adversely affected the functioning of the committee. So I don't like the idea that someone can just arbitrarily decide how they apply those types of absentee. Once again, if you were absent and you didn't notify them, then that's on you. But it sounds to me as if not only did you do your best, I mean, there's always times when something happens and we don't always, follow through with notification or it doesn't reach the person, but that's a hit-and-miss basis. And your assignments to the council are, priority, I believe. So others can have their opinion on it, but as long as you want to remain on it, I'm not reappointing you because I'm not acknowledging that you were never taken off by this, unappointed by this council.
How many people are on this committee? Is it 12?
It's about 11 or 12 right now. There can be up to
Because there was a vote.
There can be up to 20-something people.
Okay, the email that I got was 11-0 to ask you to resign or kick you off of it, whatever. But my question would be, I mean, if you want to stay on it, I know you've had a lot of trouble in showing up to meetings on time and so forth, but to miss meetings, that's another issue. My question to you would be, are you committed to going to the meetings? Because they obviously want somebody that's going to show up.
Well, I'm committed as long as we don't have special council meetings. And those are always going to take precedence over these committee meetings.
Yeah,
And that's what happened. That we had several council meetings in a row, and I wasn't able to go to them.
Yeah, mine showed 2. We had 2 special council meetings and 4 others. That was the email I got. I don't know if everybody got the same, I assume.
Well, the thing is, no matter who you appoint here, if we have a special council meeting, you're not going to go. So the point is just that. So I don't know where we can make an issue out of that.
Yeah, no, but we need to, if we're not going to be there, we need to, on all the meetings that we go to, I mean, we all take turns, letting people know. So
I just don't know how they can make a motion to declare a position vacant because they're not appointing the members.
Here's the thing. It's a city representative on the board. They never notified us. I didn't get a notification. Did you get a notification? No. Did you?
No.
Of what?
That they were going to take action.
That they were going to take action.
Oh,
We didn't
no.
get it until after it was done deal.
Correct. No, I got some emails.
In my mind, somebody was quick on the trigger here. With purpose or not, I don't know.
Anyway, I personally don't believe that a vote needs to be taken to reinstate you from something for which we never took a vote to remove you or replace you, I should say.
Mayor, let's just take it up with the school board.
I already have.
Good.
Just one little addendum to that. You said you're coming up for termination. When does that happen?
Oh, well, you're only allowed 2 terms.
No, I
That happens
understand
in
that.
January.
January, okay. So if we were to have to take a vote, January would be the time to either reappoint or appoint someone else.
Well, we have to reappoint someone else anyway, because I can't be on any more than 2 terms.
Okay.
So then I'll be
So
done.
you're done in January?
In January, yeah.
Thank you.
So it literally is the end of the story.